Welcome back everybody to another episode of our weekly Moto News Roundup, where this time around we'll look at some of the new BMW updates for the 2026 model year, the news that their F450 GS adventure bike has started to roll off the production line as well, plus the same could be said of Ducati's new Monster, and there's also news from Honda on their use of sustainable materials. Then we've got the winner of our competition that we've been running in partnership with ASV, some big price cuts for Triumph on their Black Friday sale, Harley update their 440, Kawasaki have got small bike news too, Suzuki might be getting involved in the mid-capacity market, and we'll round off with a product that you might not expect from Brembo. But first up, let's dive into those updates for BMW's lineup for 2026, which had just been announced this week. There's a new paint job for the 1300 GS for the trophy finish specifically, with it last year having had a sort of blue base coat with a bit of white and red graphics on top, whereas this time round it's painted in white, aluminium matte metallic, and then gets the blue and red for the graphical accents. So not a million miles from last year, admittedly, although to be fair, the trophy finish is always a bit of a variation on that theme. Then the 30-litre tank version, the 1300 GS Adventure, gets a couple of tweaks to its accessory packages, with the handguard extensions now being added to the Touring package, and also the engine guards being added to their Enduro Package Pro. The S1000XR Sports Tourer also gets a similar tweak in that the USB charging port is now thrown into their dynamic package, but also the blue paint option from last year, which was I think a little bit of white and yellow on top, is now replaced with this new sage green metallic, which does look pretty nice actually. It has a bit of that classy touring bike kind of look. Then last up, we've also got the F900 GS, so their mid to large capacity off-road biased adventure bike. And with this one, they've dropped the Sao Paulo yellow for 2026 and replaced it with a new Snapper Rocks blue. A little bit of a shame because I really like that yellow paint job, but to be fair, they do have to keep it moving on and keep it fresh. Then there's the trophy finish as well. This has been reworked a bit. They've also given it a red subframe, but out of all the changes, this is probably the most similar to the last year version of the Trophy 900 GS. So yeah, relatively small tweaks across the lineup, but of course if you've been holding out for the latest finishes, then there they are, and I'd love to know what you think of them down in the comments below. Also this week it's confirmed that production of their new F450 GS adventure bike, which is built on their behalf by TVS in India, has kicked off, so we can probably expect bikes to start hitting dealers fairly soon. Now not only that, but in this press release they also say that in the partnership between these two companies, they've just passed the 200,000 bikes mark, with TVS being responsible in the past for making all their 310 bikes. So for example, the G310 GS, which this new 450 effectively replaces. They also go on to say that they're already working on the next phase of this partnership, with a focus on urban mobility and also the more premium small capacity bikes that they're already kind of producing. So I guess watch this space. I'd fully expect them to roll out more bikes on the 450 platform, with the 310, for example, having the naked bike, the sports bike, as well as the GS adventure bike. Also this week we had it confirmed that Ducati have kicked off production of their new V2 powered Monster, with it being the 5th generation of their naked all-rounder. Now this new engine helped them shed about 4 kilograms of total weight versus the last generation, and that makes it the lightest Monster of the 4-valve models, with a wet weight of 175 kilograms, albeit without fuel. This year they say it'll be available in Iceberg white alongside the typical Ducati red, and the fact that they're underway building them means they should be in UK dealers by February. Meanwhile, Honda have been tooting their horn about their use of sustainable materials, with increased usage in the lineup for 2026. Now they call it Durabio, and apparently it's made from inedible corn and wheat. And while it started life on the Africa Twin in 2024, they now say it's in use to make body panels for 6 of the current 2026 models. So it's still used on the Africa Twin, it's the NT1100 as well, the NC750X, the new CB1000 GT Sports Tourer, and also the XADV and Forza 750. So it's used for some of the covers, the fairings, on some of the bikes, the windscreens as well. And they say that not only is it super strong and also scratch resistant, but it expresses colour really well, and so it actually means in some cases they don't need to paint it, which helps to simplify the production process. I'd be very surprised if we don't see more and more of it over the coming years in the Honda lineup, especially as they push towards carbon neutrality. But next up, a massive thanks to ASV for supporting us recently with our giveaway, with an incredible bundle that includes, as the main part of the giveaway, a set of levers for your bike from their lineup, and they really are beautifully made. They've got a massive range of adjustability as well, and also this clever mid-lever pivot that helps to stop them breaking if you did drop the bike. On top of that, we're giving away some ASV merch, a $150 Quad Lock voucher, and also a set of gear from Bowtex, who make these AAA certified base layers that you can wear under your regular clothes, and so you can go out riding effectively wearing whatever you want, and you can still be safe and protected. But look, it's time to announce the winner, and so this time round it is Andrew Booth, so a massive congratulations to him, and of course we'll be in touch as soon as possible to get the prize out to you. Also a massive thanks to anybody else who entered, and a reminder that if you do fancy picking up some levers now that you've found out the winner, then there's a code down in the description below that not only gets you 15% off, but also free shipping, which is a massive discount specifically if you're ordering from outside the US, and they tell me you could save up to about $100, so definitely worth a look. And once again, a massive thanks to ASV as well for their support and also for putting up such a good prize. Now, speaking of great deals, I don't normally go into a massive amount of detail on Black Friday because there's just so much to cover now, but I did see a couple of sites reporting that Triumph were running some pretty heavy discounts on brand new bikes, and so here's a quick run through the best of them. It runs till the 14th of December as well, so you've still got a bit of time if you do fancy picking one up. But the Tiger Sport 660 gets a grand off, which is a really good offer. The Daytona 660 is 1,100 quid off, and also a Street Triple RS is a grand off as well, so that's now 10,995, which is a heck of a good bike for that sort of money. I think the biggest saving though is on a Tiger 1200 GT Pro, which gets 1,300 quid off to start with, but also they throw in a set of their Expedition panniers and the rails, and so that pushes the value of that particular discount up to over 2,400 quid, which is a great saving and also would make for a really properly good adventure touring bike. Sorely tempting, although for me personally there won't be much space in the garage soon, having just picked up a used Tiger 900 Rally that you might have seen if you follow me on Instagram, because I posted about it the other day. It was too good a deal to resist, and we need a bit of a utilitarian adventure bike alongside the Bonnie for our shoots and stuff, and so do keep your eyes peeled for that on the channel soon once I've picked it up. And also, hopefully we'll do a few mods and improvements. Over at Harley though, there's an update to their 440, which is one of their bikes for the Asian market specifically, with a new version called the X440T. Now, it's a bike that's heavily based upon the Hero Hunk 440, with Hero, of course, building it on Harley's behalf, but they just give it a fresh badge and also a little bit of a different styling package to give it a bit of premium appeal. Now, this one, the new T model, gets a revised seat and tail unit, which does look a little more filled out than on the standard bike, and also a couple of extra little touches here and there, like the bar end mirrors and a new heat shield on the exhaust. Now, this one does look set to be for India only, as with the existing X440, but you never know, with the popularity of small to mid capacity bikes now in the UK and Europe, well, perhaps we could see it here one day too, especially considering that just an episode or two back, we reported that Hero themselves have entered the UK market with the Hunk as their first model. On top of that though, we also recently got the news that Kawasaki's baby retro, the W230, would be on sale in the UK for 2026. And of course, if you followed our motorcycle live coverage, I got a chance to do a quick walk around and show it off and show what it looks like in the flesh. But also this week, motorcycle.com report that the W175, which is a very similar kind of bike will be available for the US market soon after Kawasaki certified it with the California Air Resources Board. It's usually a pretty accurate way to get an idea of what bikes are coming. And so yeah, maybe a new small retro affordable option in the US for 2026 or maybe sometime after that. But I will say, I think in the UK we got the slightly better deal there with the W230, because not only is the W175 even less powerful than the 230, it makes just 13 horsepower peak, but also the finish looks quite a bit more basic with the cast wheels instead of the spokes. The single clock looks a bit cheap instead of those nice looking twin clocks on the 230. The 230's paint looks better as well. So what do you think? Could this be a hot seller in the UK, or should they have just gone with the more, classically styled 230? Either way, there are certainly a lot of small bike options nowadays, and this week MCN also reported that Suzuki could be looking to get involved. They spoke to some of the management team at EICMA, and when they asked about the booming sort of 350 to 500 segment, well, Suzuki's product planner said it's a segment where the products are getting more and more popular among customers. And of course, for manufacturers like us, we need to go for that. If there is customer demand, we should go for that. MCN then go on to speculate that with 37 horsepower and Euro 5 Plus emissions compliance already, the 400 single in their relatively recent DRZ lineup would make the ideal candidate, requiring relatively little modification to be fit for purpose for a small 400 naked or something like that. But rounding off today, we've got some potentially quite surprising news from Brembo, who are of course best known for making braking products. You see, they've just announced a new data logger for the track called Track Tribe, and not only can you use it to measure and analyze and improve your lap times, but also you can upload your data to their platform, and that allows you to compare yourself to other riders who have ridden the same circuit. So you'll be able to look at circuit leaderboards and see the best laps ever set and see where you're losing time perhaps versus them. You can connect with friends and compare your lap times and data as well, which I think would be pretty interesting. And they also say you can upload action cam footage and use overlays to really be able to review your riding and see where you're putting a foot wrong. Apparently it's launching in spring 2026. It's not just plug and play, you have to have it installed, but it does sound like a bit of fun, especially if you are out on the same track day as your mates. Anyway, I'd love to know in the comments what you make of the stories this week, so do let me know. I'll also put a little playlist on the screen of the other videos from the past week in case you missed them. We've got a walk around of the Kawasaki stand with their best new bikes for 2026, and also a first ride on the brilliant looking BMW R12 GS. Do hit subscribe for more of the latest motorcycle news and reviews right here on MOTOBOB. A massive thanks for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video.